Now, the National Treasury is expected to initiate and table a tax law amendment bill in Parliament to actualize President William Ruto's request for new revenue-raising measures to fund additional demands for the expenditure. The bill is expected to contain some of the good provisions that were in the rejected 2024 Finance Bill. However, National Assembly Finance and National Planning Committee Chair Kimani Kuria says if the Supreme Court will save the Finance Act 2023 that was declared unconstitutional, the reduction in the Supplementary Budget 2024 will be sufficient and be financed through the existing revenue-raising measures. NTV's Vincent Odwor starts this bulletin off with that story.
Move by President William Ruto to hint at new revenue-raising measures to plug a 346 billion shillings shortfall that befell his administration after the withdrawal of the controversial Finance Bill 2024 has now put the National Treasury on the spot. Treasury is now expected to come up with a tax law amendment bill that allows Parliament to introduce new taxes, if need be, outside the Finance Bill that amends individual laws that create various taxes. National Assembly Finance Committee Chair Kimani Kuria argues that necessarily doesn't mean an increase in taxation.
Unless the executive wants to increase the budget, or there is a substantial foreseen reduction in revenue collection that will not therefore suffice to finance the current budget, then there shouldn't be tax raising measures to finance the current budget. Unless there is proof or there is projection that even with the current raising measures that exist in the Finance Act of 2023, they can't finance the existing budget.
With the fate of the 2023 Finance Act now at the Supreme Court after it was declared unconstitutional, Treasury is likely waiting for the outcome of the case to know what will inform its tax amendment bill.
Because as we stand, unless again there is something that happens in the Finance Act of 2023, which would drastically bring down how much revenue we can collect, the supplementary budget of 2024 the reduction should be sufficiently financed through the existing tax revenue measures. If the Supreme Court would reject the Finance Act of 2023 in its entirety, that would mean we'll have to either further cut the budget, which would mean that the supplementary tool will have to be prepared, which would cut the budget to a very, very, very big extent, and then that would mean that will reflect with the Finance Act 2022.
According to National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, some of the good provisions in the rejected Finance Bill 2024 will be reintroduced,
which we can now put together and see how to take them back to Parliament, not as Finance Bill, but as other proposals.
We will have to be introduced as a new statute amendment, as a completely new law. You know, it would be like the Finance Bill never existed. I think it never existed. It have to be like the processing of it will have to go through all the stages of how a law is made.
Now that we already have the Appropriations Act in place, the question that Treasury will have to answer is how to finance the additional demand for expenditure. Vincent Odwor, NTV.